Hello and welcome. This is Ritika and you're watching Darwin Platform Group of Companies presents Inventive India. This is a show where we understand the sectors that help shape the nation. The COVID crisis highlighted the need for India to attain self-reliance in the pharma sector. The Indian pharmaceutical industry responded with agility and exploded rapidly during the pandemic and is all set to become the pharmacy to the world in years to come. To understand the sector better, we have a special focus on the sector in today's episode. To start with, let's take a look at the special AV. Indian pharma is making a rapid shift from volume to value-based care by investing in robust R&D and manufacturing infrastructure. Globally, India ranks third in volumes of pharmaceuticals produced and 14th in the value it holds. With new COVID variants engulfing the nation, an amalgamation of physical and digital infrastructure will help accelerate drug development and enable the market to move with speed. Learning from past experiences, the sector needs to sustain flexibility, encourage adaptability, initiate collaborations, and drive innovations to achieve significant growth in both domestic and global markets. Today, India is a significant and rising player in the global pharmaceutical sector. We are world's largest supplier of generic medications and account for 20% of the worldwide supply by volume and have supplied over 60% of the global vaccination demand. Before we begin, let's look at what are DPGC's future plans to consolidate its presence in the sector and emerge as a market leader.
So Darwin Platform Group of Companies is a diversified conglomerate of 29 different verticals under the vision of our chairman, Sri Mr. Ajay Harinath Singh. So one of the subsidiary company is Darwin Platform Pharmaceutical Limited, which is entering into pharmaceutical industry big time. 2018 it took off very well, and we had our own contract manufactured products. We were into big time into nutraceutical segments, into multivitamin segments, into sanitary segments. So a lot of segments were being touched and a lot of segments were being catered in the Indian market. We are coming big time into sanitation as well. We have our future expansion projects along with disinfectant making. So Bacoban, which is to be claiming it can disinfect the particular surface for 10 days. And Darwin Platform Group of Companies under the genre of Darwin Platform Pharmaceuticals is having a sole exclusive distributorship in India as well as in Asia. So expansion, yes, we are expanding, we are getting foreign partners in, we are getting more robust in terms of delivering in the health sector, and surely we are coming into manufacturing as well.
And now, without further ado, let me quickly get in my esteemed panelists for today's episode, starting with Dr. Balwant Harinath Singh, the Vice Chairman at Darwin Platform Group of Companies. He's a known philanthropist, passionate about lending a helping hand to every diversified community in need. A very, very warm welcome to you, Dr. Singh. We also have with us on the show Chairman of Federation of Pharma Entrepreneur, that is Mr. B.R. Sikri. He has his expertise on various innovative pharmaceutical sciences and his research work focuses on APIs intermediates and finished formulations. A very warm welcome to you, sir. We're also being joined on the show by Kamal Mehrotra. Kamal Mehrotra is Joint Secretary, All India Organization of Chemists and Druggists and Organizing Secretary, Retailer Distribution Chemist Association. A very warm welcome to Inventive India. So let me get this discussion going on this very, very important sector for Indian economy, that is the Indian pharmaceutical industry. Let me first come across to you, Dr. Balwant Harinath Singh. What do you think are the current trends in the Indian pharmaceutical industry?
As we are looking at the current stature, the Indian pharmaceutical industry has grown very well and very nicely. The exports have been raised in the Indian pharmaceutical industry. As we are looking at in the financial year around 20, it was 20.4 billion, and in 21 there is a rise of 24 billion. So we are looking that the pharmaceutical industry slowly, gradually is coping up, and it's one of the robust industries. So we are currently ranking on the third position in the whole world, where we are catering to a lot of international markets. A lot of generic medicines have been supplied by India. A lot of nutraceuticals have been supplied by India. A lot of energy is there in the pharmaceutical industry, which helps the other countries where we cater. Vaccination is one of the key points which we have just achieved in the Indian pharmaceutical industry. Around 100 crore people getting vaccinated under Sri Narendra Modi ji's guidance and Ministry of Health's guidance, and it was done very smoothly, swiftly. So a lot of achievements India has, achieved during this current pandemic situation.
Thank you, Dr. Singh, for underlining that for us. Moving across to Mr. B.R. Sikri. So, special focus on the role that pharma sector has played during COVID. Could you please elaborate on that for us?
Thank you very much. See, role of pharma industry during COVID has been a very patriotic and very responsive and very responsible role. Because COVID attack was a sudden attack, neither the industry nor the nation was mentally prepared to accept that. In spite of that, there was a problem about the logistics, there was a problem of the raw material availability and manpower movement. In spite of that, except 2 or 3 products went into short supply, that too during wave 1. But wave 2, we were fully prepared. And not only within the country, we were able to give the supplies to the patient as per the doctor's prescription. Rather, internationally also, many countries were depending upon India, and we were able to fulfill their requirement.
Let me come across to you, Mr. Kamal Mehrotra. The government has been very proactive and it has really placed a priority on the sector. But I would like to specially ask you about government's Jan Aushadhi Pariyojana. How is that making medicines affordable for all?
Yeah, ever since Jan Aushadhi Pariyojana has come into being, the biggest advantage to the patient has been that the prices have come down. These are generic medicines. These are not the branded ones. These are sold by the name of the compound, and the MRP, the maximum retail price, has been reduced so that it is available to the poorest of the poor, and a mass availability is there for the patients who otherwise could not afford the branded medicines, which were expensive comparatively. But then it has its own plus and minuses. That yes, since our trade comprises of lots and lots of compounds and branded ones, in spite of the best of the efforts in the Jan Aushadhi, still, it's very difficult to complete the whole variety and the whole range. So somewhere there are some hiccups, but otherwise, by and large, yes, it has been a great help to the poorest of the poor. Yeah.
Now, Mr. Sikri, if we actually look at the opportunities ahead for the sector, of course, the government has recognized and it has enhanced the budget allocation also for the sector. But still, what kind of government push is required for the pharma industry to thrive?
Now, government is seriously and sincerely trying to reduce the dependability on China. See, one factor is that almost 68 to 70% dependability on intermediate and KSM and API is on one particular country, which was a big threat. And Government of India, with a very positive state of mind, came with PLI 1 and PLI 2 scheme. But that PLI 1 and PLI 2 scheme again had some hidden agenda. The PLI 1 scheme was having the API and intermediate and KSM. Again, it was having 2 more segments. One was fermentation-based category, one was chemical synthesis-based category. Now, chemical synthesis-based category was a great success. People applied, they got the approval. And fermentation-based category, the response was not very encouraging. It was a lukewarm because it requires huge investment. Unless government gives categorically assurance that tomorrow China will not start dumping the material in India, because it is not in 100, 200 crore investment, it is in 1,000. So the industry is very much apprehensive because about 20, 35 years back, this similar scheme, penicillin G based product were launched in India, and suddenly China started dumping, and that was a totally failure. Now today industry is having apprehension. Secondly, having so much of capital requirement, unless government come with a technology tie-up with the foreign collaboration, plus additional incentives are also required. Then only fermentation base can be successful, but chemical based category is already successful and people are adopted and people are going to implement it. In 1.5 years or so, the result will be known and it will be going to be positive results.
And Mr. Kamal Malhotra, according to you, how is integrating technology helping the pharma sector meet the increasing demand and also not just the domestic but the global demand?
Yeah, it so happens that whenever there's a pandemic of this kind, and if you are actively into integration of the technology, it so happens, as you had seen, that this all started from China, then European countries got affected, the US. By that time, when you are integrated technologically, you get enough of time to sort of quickly adapt yourself to the requirements of the situation, and then you are able to take care of the pandemic which is going to start, which has started and is progressing towards your country. That is one way. That is the knowledge which you share. And likewise the treatment also, because you saw for yourself in the television that these medicines which were being prescribed and the results which were being shared all across the globe was making those countries well equipped where it happened to come a little late. So yes, integration technology is very, very important for the purpose of awareness as well as for arranging the treatment, the timely treatment. Yes, it brings the whole globe together,
Thank you, gentlemen, for highlighting the strengths and the opportunities for the pharmaceutical sector in this very special episode. For now, it's time for a short break. Endowin Platform Group of Companies presents Inventive India. The Indian pharmaceutical industry is expected to reach $130 billion by 2030. Our panelists will help us understand the strategies in place and those that need to be built to achieve this promising estimate right after the short break. Welcome back after the break. You're watching Darwin Platform Group of Companies presents Inventive India, where our special focus today is on Indian pharmaceutical sector. It's time to now address and analyze the key challenges that the sector faces and chart out possible solutions to sustain growth. Now, with that thought, I would like to go across to Dr. Balwant Harinath Singh from DPGC, who's with us on the show today. So, how can we actually ensure that quality of drugs is not compromised while meeting the increased market demand?
From manufacturer to consumer, there is a long list which is being catered. Our whole economy is looking or vouching out to the products which can fit the size of a common man and a common pocket. So quality of the drug will be maintained because India is somewhere very good in strategizing and policy makings in the pharma industry. Recently, there was a new venture by the government in last 2 to 3 years, prepared by the government, which was called the Central Drug Association Authority, which is doing very well, I think so. And the licensing is being done very well. The quality has been checked by them very well. It is just in line with the FDA. FDA is also one of the parts where all the clearances get done. A lot of effort by the manufacturers has been given, and a lot of hardship is there when you get a single medicine at your doorstep which you consume and you think that I'll be be better and it'll maintain my health. So a lot of effort has been put when a single medicine is being prepared for the general public.
Mr. B.R. Sikri, now with Omicron in sight, how can the Indian pharma sector prepare for a possible third wave of COVID and the Omicron variant?
See, the way vaccination has been done by the Honorable Prime Minister in the entire country, we are a proud country that we are very aggressive, and more than 100 crore people, vaccination is not a small thing. Now, what we look towards government, that government has to come forward with the scientific background people to guide the industry. What exactly do they expect industry to do? See, we are already geared up, but sometimes, unfortunately, when we talk about the dependability of API and KSM on a particular country, that becomes a big challenge. Although normally up to 6 months stock we have, either we have in the pipeline or we have in the production or it is in the market. But suddenly, if there is a specific product demand, in the first wave also we had to face similar problem. Suddenly, arm twisting by a particular country for a particular product, and particularly antibiotic and cephalosporin dependability is too much on one country. So my request is that government should come forward and give the guideline, give the direction, and give us the suggestion. In which direction do they expect industry to really go? We also have to bother 195 countries which are depending on India. So we have to be prepared for that. So we are looking towards the guidelines and direction from the government of India.
Having gone through the strengths and the opportunities that the pharma sector has in front of it, ahead in the show we will look at the threats being posed to the sector. But before that, the first two waves of COVID placed different demands on the pharma sector. But Apollo Pharmacy rose to the challenge and supplied essential drugs and medical equipment to citizens even in the remotest parts of the country. A very special look at this case study.
Yeah, as all you are aware of that, the entire world was struggling with the COVID situation. We, Apollo Pharmacy, as a healthcare provider, we also face a lot of challenges. But within 2 days of experience that we could be able to adopt the new normal. The challenges what we face is, one is the employee movement, employee availability for serving the customer, and third thing is availability of the medicines and the transport. What we have done that immediately we have spoken to all the employee to resume the duty. They also faced many problems from the family side also. Many of the employees, they said that their parents are not allowing to come to the duty. Why? Because they want to take care of their safety. But we could be able to see that lot of our employees, they themselves come forward, they have taken the challenge that this is the situation which they want to serve the customers. 80% of attendance we got it. With the 80% of attendance, we could be able to see the 100 plus productivity. Our employee, they kept their life into the risk. They went and delivered the medicine in the containment zone, wherever they need medicine. We have started pharmacy on time 6 o'clock. We run the pharmacy up to 12 o'clock. Sometime wherever we need the pharmacist 24 hours also, we have operated 24 hours. And the COVID-1 demand, COVID-2 demand, there was a different spike in terms of the demand and the price. COVID-1, there is a demand of hand sanitizer, mask, and the gloves, everything. So since we have the strong procurement team and we are spread out across the country, we could be able to airlift many of the product to deliver the medicine. COVID-2 demand was different. COVID-2 demand, there was a pulse oximeter, there was oxygen concentrator, all those demand was there. We had a complete procurement strengthening the team and IT system. We could be able to deliver on-time customer demand. If it was simply, if you want to say that COVID-1 and COVID-2, as a Apollo Pharmacy, really we served many customers and we saved this nation, and also we can say that we are succeed on that. Now Apollo Pharmacy is available across the country, from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, including Andaman Nicobar. We have spread over all the places. Then coming to the next point, that we are covering closely 50% of Indian PIN codes within 24 hours of delivery. With the strong trained manpower, within a second, each and every second we are dispensing 3 prescriptions. We are not just dispensing the medicine. Beyond the medicine, we take care of the customer. We provide proper doses to the customer and we do the health tips for the customers. Intention of starting our pharmacy is to give the quality medicine to the customers. We have the strong procurement team. Our procurement team negotiates generally with all these company people. We will procure the medicine only the proper channel of either directly from the company or directly from the C&F or company authorized supplier only. So since we have the strong procurement team, we maintain that 36 years of experience, we never Apollo got into any of the problem of dispensing the spurious medicine. So because of the strong IT system for the controlling, strong procurement system, we are always claim that Apollo is genuine for dispensing the medicines.
So that was a special case study highlighting the role played by the sector in these really difficult times. Moving on, let's look at the threats being posed to the sector. And I think one of the biggest threats is counterfeit drugs. What are the main factors for a rise in healthcare counterfeiting? For this, I would like to go across to you, Mr. Kamal Mehrotra, and also what measures have to be taken to counter this small practice and what has been done so far?
Here I have to make a mention of the illegal online pharmacies which are operating because of which the chances of counterfeit stocks entering into the channel are much more. And that is a big concern because, see, as far as the brick and mortar chemist shops are concerned, we have a drug control department who are there to inspect us from time to time. But all over the world, it's like this, that whenever more and more online players are entering, the chances of counterfeit or drugs entering the channel becomes much more. So firstly, whenever, as it is said for counterfeit, whenever it comes into your hand, but then if it comes into the hands of the patient really cannot compare. But once it is into the hands of technical people or people, pharmacists, they are able to make out as to what is counterfeit, what is not. One. Number two, our industry thrives on bills. We purchase on invoice bill and we sell on bill. And peculiarly, there is a batch number to every medicine. So from the batch number, the chain can always be established, and going backwards from the pharmacy, from the patient to the pharmacy, then to the wholesaler, to the warehouse, to the company, you are able to track the authenticity of a particular drug. And that is how you catch hold of the counterfeit ones.
Thank you so much, gentlemen, for detailing it out, all aspects of the pharmaceutical sector with us. But before we conclude, I would like to take you through the top 10 pharmaceutical insights that have emerged from today's discussion. Phygital infrastructure accelerating drug development. Around 100 crore people vaccinated under Modi government. Technology integrations in pharmaceuticals revolutionizing healthcare. Different demands during first and second COVID waves. Illegal online pharmacies leading to spike in counterfeiting. Indian pharma industry to touch $130 billion by 2030. Batch numbers help identify and track counterfeit drugs. Exports in Indian pharma increased from 20.4 billion in FY20 to 24 billion in FY21. Pradhan Mantri Bharatiya Janaushadhi Pariyojana providing generic medicines at affordable prices. Tech increasing healthcare awareness and enabling timely treatment. I would like to thank all our panelists for sharing with us their knowledge and their insights about the Indian pharma sector during today's discussion. Healthcare will always assume top priority in India's growth strategy. It is imperative that India reevaluates its current role within the global pharmaceutical industry and explores possibilities to consolidate and strengthen its position as a self-sufficient pharma giant. With that, we come to an end of this very special episode of Darwin Platform Group of Companies presents Inventive India. Thank you for watching.